that's why I've kind of stuck with it.
This guy's actually talking with the stream, and he muted us.
What happened? What happened?
He's actually talking with his stream, and you're muting us.
Somebody's asking me a question on stream. What do you mean?
Dude, no one is asking you a question on stream, alright?
So my boy Nas asking a question. This is so funny. Alright, this is a video of a 23 Nexus Point. This is a re-clear for us, but we haven't done a video on it, and the first time we cleared it, I embarrassingly died 50 times, so I'm not gonna upload that. I'll upload this one, which will have a better way of showing what to do for the fight. Okay. This dungeon, I haven't done this dungeon without litany. If you have litany, I think it's a 100% take in this dungeon. Very important, especially for the second boss. The first boss is also very helpful too. Okay, first off, first pull, double lingering image, and we lust it. This pull is super chill for you. All you gotta watch out for is a tank, any residual totems you put out, or would heal these blistering light, whatever it's called, that goes on your party member. So, not a problem at all. Alright. Cooldown wise, you can put down your healing tide when it goes out on 2 people, or you can just put it down, and so you can DPS more. Not very that tight, not very tight on defensives here, or pardon, not very tight on cooldowns here. Alright, one utility you need is your Windrush totem, and you need to make sure you have the Talon Jetstream for it, which removes snare effects. These engineers put out these circles on players, and basically it does damage, and it prevents your party members from stacking together and moving. As you can see here, it goes on them.
You got it. I heard Lucky's comms, but I still kicked it.
I still haven't used it yet because we have a plan. We have like a assigned spot for them, and the assigned spot is around this pillar where they're going right now. And you might be asking, why are we going behind this pillar? Well, this pillar is a LOS spot for these mana batteries that drop from these engineers. And so what that means is that once we kill the engineers, we don't stay around and kill the batteries. We just run off. Okay. In this area, you will fight a seer. I think on most routes you're going to fight a seer. This seer, it has one AoE mechanic that's coming up in 14 seconds. Or it's coming up now. Okay. So basically, this is a dot that ramps up as it gets more stack on your party members. And so what you don't want to do is you don't want to blow your load too quickly. Alright. You can see it starts off low, but then once you get to 15 stacks, it gets really high. And then it goes away. Not that big of a mechanic to deal with, but you do want to assign your cooldowns for it. So the first one I end up using my healing tide for, and then the second one I should be using my link for. Or if you have a lot of procs, you can just use your Stormstream totems and heal through it. This is the same pull. You have engineers. You as a shaman, by the way, can get out of these circles. You have 2 ways to deal with it. Number 1 is you have Ghost Wolf, and number 2 is you have Spirit Walk. I ended up not taking that talent because I didn't find myself really needing it, and I can't remember, there was some other talent that I took instead of it. But you can definitely take Spirit Walk in here. It's recommended because it's very easy to deal with that mechanic. But you can see here, we're doing the same strat as we did at the beginning, where we place the engineers before they die in an area where we can LOS it. Same with the Windrush totem. Because we're all clumped up in one spot, I will put the Windrush down, and that way we don't have to panic. You can see here, the batteries are behind us, and we stay behind this column right here. There's my tank, purposely not getting aggro, because I probably said something before. And so the Arcanist just hits me. So you can see here, the Seer does do a lot of damage if you're not prepared for it properly. Right, 15 stacks. It's a good amount of a good amount of damage. Try not to use your healing tide here. If you're going to do the next boss based off the cooldowns that I use, you need your healing tide for the very first absorb. Okay, so this fight, it's very scripted in terms of what to do from a healer's point of view. All right, you will pair your healing tide totem with your litany for those two will be used for the first knockback and absorb. And then for your second knockback, you're going to use your spirit link. And then for your third knockback, you should have your litany and your healing tide again. Or sorry, for your third one, you should be using your defensives. And then your fourth one will be your healing tide. And you can use your litany in between there too. But the important thing is this, right? As you can see, we are going into the absorb here. I proc by litany. I don't send my surgeon totem yet, as I don't send this. And I line up my nature swiftness. Every single absorb, you need your surgeon totem with the earth living weapon proc, and you need nature swiftness, i.e. your storm stream totem. Guarantee storm stream. If you get more in between the phases and you don't need it to heal this mechanic, this one right here, then just send it. But it's best that you save up all the storm stream you can get. So once again, the very first absorb, litany trinket, healing tide, nature swiftness, and your surgeon totem. Those four things. Two of them you gotta have for every single one. Here you can see I'm not using this yet until we get to where we are. I end up using my healing tide to use it on our party members. Link us. I did a poor job this run of using my nature swiftness early enough into the phase. But the link ends up being enough for it. I also misplayed to using my my astral shift. So this is the third set. This set I should have had my astral shift for, but I don't. But this would be my defensive set. There you go. Once again, proccing my trinket. Not using my earth living weapon until the absorbs out. Making sure I have my nature swiftness. And I end up potting as well too for this one. You can see I almost die here because I didn't have my ancestral swift, my astral shift like I should have. I think I also take a tick of the poop. I think that's why I dropped so low. I gotta look back at the logs. All right. So here we have one more. I'm doing everything in my power to not use this because I'm gonna need it. One thing you can always do too that helps a lot is you have your Unleash Life proc saved up too for it. This is the fourth set, Healing Tide, Storm Stream Totems, and that's pretty much it. So once again, Healing Tide, Litany for the first one, Spirit Link for the second one, Defensives for the third one, plus Litany if you want. And if you don't use Litany on the third one, then it's Healing Tide plus Litany for the fourth one. And each of those, you got to make sure you have Storm Stream ready and you have your Surgeon Totem ready for the Earth Living Weapon. I also moved my Earth Shield onto my Paladin for that fight too. Because your Druid is actually quite tanky for that fight. They basically going bear form for every single absorb, and they use the free frenzy regen in bear form, and that gets them through most of the absorb. All right, this left side here, you have two dangerous mobs. One is the Herald here, which does a big leech And for you to deal with it as a Resto Shaman, is the Sunstone trinket. Now, obviously, you gotta make sure that there are mobs inside your healing ring when you use this trinket. Otherwise, it doesn't really heal for that much. If it goes on you and you don't have the trinket, you gotta press defensive. And you can melt it if you're a night elf, or if your party members are night elf. Okay, so these nullifiers, they will occasionally put out this shadow damage debuff. It basically, each stack makes your party member take more shadow damage, and shadow damage is pretty much everything that's in this area here. But this is a decurse, so you need decurse in this dungeon ideally. If you have party member that can take decurse, that helps a lot because you are quite tight for talent points in this key. These null sentinels does this AoE damage called Dread Battle. Alright, right here. So this is shadow damage, as we discussed. And if people have this debuff on them, when this dot comes out, it's very dangerous. So you want to make sure you get rid of that debuff ASAP. You can definitely make cooldowns for it. Again, I end up using Spirit Link there. First one goes on my tank, so we don't have to worry about. Once again, this fight, you're looking for two things. You're looking for who the leech goes out on. That's from the Herald. And you're looking for this Dread Bellow from the Sentinel. The Dread Bellow goes out, instantly use my Healing Tide, and I'm still healing. Or I'm still using spamming Chain Wave. Chain Heal. Second one goes out. I defensive myself, and I end up just healing other people for it. This fight, single Herald. Once again, it's a leech. You have your trinket to deal with it. The rest of this gauntlet is pretty much the same thing. It's just all the same mobs that you fought earlier. Alright, so this boss is the one where you definitely need your trinket for. Alright, it's about 45 seconds between pulling the boss and the first burn, and so you want to look at your cooldowns starting from there. In between each burn, you have 2 sets of bombs that go out. It goes on 2 players at once, and the 2 sets that go out, whoever the first set goes out on, the other 2 party members will get it on the second set. Why that's important is because you can pre-immune the circles that go out with DK, AMS, or you can bop it too, and there might be some other ones I'm not aware of. Okay, so this boss here, the very first set, there's a similar healing rotation as the first boss, and that is Healing Tide plus your trinket, and for each one you need your Surging Totem Earth Living Weapon and your Nature Swiftness, Ancestral Swiftness, whatever it's called, i.e. your Stormstream. Here I'm waiting to go out, instantly drop my Healing Tide and my Stormstream, and I use my trinket on it. Now, it's very important that you do not proc this trinket until you are inside the amp phase. And the reason why is because the damage that your trinket does is amplified, which in return gives you a bigger shield. So you can see here, this very first one, aside from dropping my 2 totems, I've pressed 5 globals of Frost Shock, which is the instant cast, and that allows you to proc the trinket very quick. So this trinket is very good. Here you can see an example of us pre-immuning the bomb that goes out. Because it went on the warrior knight first, we know that it's going to be the paladin and the druid next, and he gets a bot, and then my paladin is the only one that gets it. Alright, the second burn, same as the first fight, is Spirit Link. I have my Earthlifting weapon proc here, I have my Storm Stream ready. Okay, and then this is the third burn. You will have your cooldowns back again, which is going to be your litany and your healing tide. So litany is used. You see, I'm not proccing these yet until I'm inside the beam, but before I go in the beam, you drop your healing tide totem, and now I start proccing it. Totem. By the way, for this beam, you can step out of it as a healer. You know, it's very difficult to heal this as a Resto Shaman compared to a Mistweaver, right? Because you're not getting the double amplification. You're just getting one, which is the healing. And, you know, you just communicate to the team like, hey, I can't, you know, just watch your health. I can't, you know, you gotta step out. It's that fight. This last area here, there are bats here, these bats here that has a purgeable ability on it. Basically, if you don't purge it, when the bats die, they leave a big circle on the floor, and if you stand in the circle, you take damage, and if the mobs are in the circle, they heal. This pull here, like I said, in the image, first pull, same thing, puts out a dot and hits your tank. Very straightforward. The main issue here are these radiant swarms that end up fixating on players. What you want to do is you want to wait until everything is clumped up on the main target in this pull, which is the image, and then you want to drop your CCs at that point because you want to give your DPS time to, you know, kill them. So here we drop the stun totem, and then we should be following up with another one. Okay, it's sweet. Yeah. They do finish, or pardon me, they don't fixate forever. The fixate is a timed ability, so you can just kite it out too. Alright. These light spawns are incredibly difficult to deal with. Basically, it puts out 2 debuff, which you should dispel right away and heal the other person. The 2 debuffs, they don't last long enough for you to dispel both, so you can only dispel one and heal the other. It's very important for you to know what type of damage your team members are strong and weak against. That will dictate a lot of your triage in these situations where you have 2 players to heal or 2 players to take care of. In this situation, you know, our druid and our paladin are the weakest against dots. So I always dispel them first. And you are pretty tanky. You also have dwarf to deal with it too. And your warrior is pretty tanky. Alright, we're not pulling this onto the boss because we have lust, and there comes to a point where we have 4 dots on us and we just use Spirit Link for it. The way we pull this, we always end up having 4, but it's really not an issue because everyone has cooldowns. We have lust going in, the pack just dies. You can see everyone's doing above 400k damage. This pull, or this boss here, it's pretty easy boss for you to heal. There's only 1 damage mechanics, and that is when these bombs are on top of you. The way to deal with it is just drop your totems. That's really it. The death there, I think, because they walked into one of the images, so nothing you can do there. But in terms of you prepping, fish for your riptides, keep spamming riptides to get your procs, and then just use them all when the circles stack up. Once again, here, if I don't have a totem, I just use Healing Tide. There's really no big lethal event in this fight, so it's very consistent. If you have these snowballs, you can throw them at the boss within a second left of the cast, and it will follow to where they go. So quick, very neat tip. If you don't want to play the guessing game. Pretty much the fight.
Lava person, up person. Don't heal at all.
There you can tell. You can hear my party member tell me not to heal at all. It's defensive. Oh, yeah. Man, I need 1 point. Damn it. All right. Thank you for watching.